Hello, Yanga.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm glad you could join us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
The last time I saw you, you were not this tall, but I won't double click.
It's TV. You're on TV. I'm sure you understand what happens when you're on TV. I get this every single time that people who've never met me, every time they meet me, are like, you're so tiny. You're so small. I'm like, guys, it's TV.
True, eh? True. Tell me more about yourself, where you come from, where you grew up, where you went to school.
I'm 21 years old, turning 22 this year, born in 2001. So I am a 2000.
Yes.
Even if people think that I'm not, I am a 2000 and I'm proud to be a 2000. And I'm repping the 2000s really well, I think so. I grew up in Cape Town, born and bred in Cape Town, Kwalanga. That's where I was born, and then I grew up between Khayelitsha and Delft and Fuleni at some point of my life. Come from a Christian family, going to church every Sunday, and I think they really led me to Christ and where I am now.
Okay. So you've always been a singing, I don't know to call it a singing girl, or
I've always been interested in music. It's always been something that like attracted me. I was actually talking to a friend of mine. I was like, because she was singing at home, and I was like, no, you can actually sing, but like, even though you don't think that you were born with the talent, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be born with the talent in order for you to be able to sing. So for me, I had the potential, I guess, and then it just interested me, and I also like dabbled into it. I grew up listening to the likes of Joyous Celebration, Dogo Zombambo. I mean, I would watch every single lead that she sings, pause and make sure that I sing it to like the T, exactly the way that she sang it, like with the same vibrato, with the same dun. Like I was very intentional about my musical journey. Joined the worship team at some point. In high school, I was very forward because I just loved this music thing. When we had festivals at school, I'd offer to sing, and I'd bring my own band. Iskolo is not paying me, but I would offer to, like, you know what, I'll give these people money. Where do I get the money? I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money, but because of the musical interest and what God had planted inside of me that had to come out, it was just inevitable.
So when did you discover that this thing of singing is bigger than you thought?
I think when I went to Idols.
Okay.
For me, it was about the experience. We grew up watching Idols, Ekaya. And the year that I was inspired to go, like the year that I got triggered really to go, was when Loyiso Kichana was on the show. So at the time, he was 16. And for me, I was like, no, man, if this guy can do it, surely I can also do it. So I entered, and it was very, very exciting for me. In fact, when I won Idols is when I discovered about people actually take me seriously. Because I'm like, why are you guys voting for me? I'm just singing. It's not that big of a deal. I know I'm good, but like, not like Beyonce good. But it turned out I am like Beyonce good.
There it is. And destiny is calling, you know. But did you know that you were going to win, or did you have aspirations to win, or you were just entering for the fun of it?
I was just there for the experience, honestly. Now, when I saw Loyiso Kichana at TV performing, for me, I was like, you know, at the time, I never really got the experience to sing like on a professional stage with BVs, with the lights, with the band. And for me, just hearing the musical arrangements, the BVs, the vocals, like everything for me was like, okay, that's what I want. I was actually chasing after that, not everything else. I was actually quite shocked to see, okay, now my privacy is taken away. Everyone is interested in my life. We just keep the interest to the voice. But obviously, because the spotlight is the spotlight, I didn't know what I was signing up for.
How did you handle the fame?
I think having a family, like a Christian family, kept me really grounded. And all the teachings that I had, because I'm a serious church girl. Every Bible study, I'd be there. Every prayer meeting, I'll be there. So I had a very good foundation and understanding of who I am. I understood that what I do is not who I am, right? So the moment that I had an achievement, it didn't necessarily define me. My identity is in Christ, and that's it. So for me, that really grounded me. And on top of that, I had a family who'd always taught me to go in the ways of the Lord. So for me, like just them reminding me, hey, Sissy, Oh, yay, yay, yay. And my mom also, like, she didn't want me to go. I think that's one of the things, like, it's a blessing in disguise. Would see she didn't want me to go because it kind of like made her as the person who was protective.
Yes.
She was playing a role of being protective and just like reminding me who you are. Because as much as she was dramatic about it, about I have always the idols. In a demon lendo. Why are you idolizing? Idol.
Yeah.
God is God. You can't be idolizing. Like it was extreme, but I understood where she was coming from.
Yeah.
So that really kept me, grounded.
You were the youngest person to win Idols at the age of 17.
That's actually incorrect. Paxton was the person to
How old was she?
win. She was 17, but like Sienna by a couple of months.
No, but you were also 17.
Yeah, but I was 17 earlier. She was 17 later, which made her
Oh,
more
I
17.
see,
I don't know
see.
if that makes sense.
But you were young. I mean, you
was,
still are,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, I mean, at the age of 17, with that kind of spotlight,
Yeah.
what are some of your fondest memories about winning?
I think like getting the recognition. I didn't necessarily need it, but I wanted it.
Yeah.
It's great to know that like people who have been in the industry and pioneers of what you want to do approve. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And seeing people who wanted to write music with me, seeing artists who were interested in me, that for me was like really inspiring. And seeing the impact that my performances, those were the fulfilling moments for
Yeah.
me. And seeing how I was inspiring my peers
Yes.
to go for their dreams and to not be intimidated and to be courageous and just like go for what they want.
You became a millionaire at the age of 17.
Yeah, if I get home.
How did that make you feel? I mean, you just became a youngest millionaire, probably in your family. Eh?
Definitely.
Yeah. What was going through your mind?
You know what, Ne? I took a long time to actually understand what happened to me.
Okay.
Even when I won, like I didn't really have the reaction that I was supposed to have.
Yeah.
Because I think a part of me already was excited and already thanked God and already, I don't know, went through those emotions at some point before I entered the competition. So when it was difficult to align that moment with my emotions and understanding what had happened. And eventually, like when I saw people bombarding me at the airports, at malls, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so I won Idols. Okay, so now people are asking me to fund their school tontons.
Yeah, but
And I'm like,
I'm alone applications.
yeah, even now I still get that. I'm like, I'm not a millionaire anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not. Maybe I am in Christ, but no, I'm not a millionaire right now.
Yeah.
And the money came in a year later because
Yeah.
I requested for it a year
Okay.
later.
Why did you ask for the money to come a year later?
I wanted to know exactly what I wanted to do with the
Ah.
money, right? Because I didn't want to be
Wow.
wishy-washy and in the meantime spend money on things that I hadn't necessarily planned. Money
Yeah.
is there to be spent, but also I wanted to be intentional about what I was doing with the
You
money
know
that I had.
that is loaded. That's a lot of wisdom there. That's a lot of wisdom. For somebody to say, yes, I know I've won $1 million. Don't pay me now.
Yeah,
Pay me a year later. I'm still thinking about
Yeah.
what I'm going to do with this money.
yeah.
Who influenced your financial values or principles or decisions around it?
I think it's completely the grace of God here.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen the best money management from people around me either. Honestly, I don't know where I can say I got that from. But the Bible also has like a lot of advice when it comes to managing your finances and being intentional about everything that you do. So just like knowing that I cannot live my life anyhow because this life is borrowed and there's a purpose that I have to fulfill in my life. So every decision that I make, every I don't know, idea that I have, I need to be intentional about it and I need to be a good steward of what God has given me. So for me, like even that reward of $1 million rands, I knew that $1 million might sound like a lot, but
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily a lot because after I got a property and after I got furniture into the property, it was not there anymore. It was literally not there anymore. I think the only thing I did besides like buy a property, and it was like I did tours. At the time, it was just before COVID. I did like 2 tours, and I wanted to like tour the entire nation, but I couldn't because after that, like after the second concert in Eastern Cape, COVID hit us. Besides that, like I bought myself a phone and I bought a camera. I don't remember anything else that I did with that money.
How did your family feel with you making a decision that, yes, I've won $1 million from this singing competition. I don't want it now, I want it later so that I can gather my thoughts about what I need to do with this money. I mean, did you get some resistance?
I'm not sure if there was resistance, and if there was, I think it was internal. What I do know, there was a lot of like disagreement with my mom and I when it came to managing my finances. And for me, I was like confused because I'm like, Mama, you didn't want me to enter the competition. Let's start there. So now when you saw that things are working out, now you're jumping on the wagon and now you want to manage my finances when you've never managed my finances before. So now,
but you didn't have finances
what must
before.
happen? I did.
How?
I
What?
think
Pocket
I
money?
did.
Pocket money?
No.
Which money are you talking about?
I did. I was a tutor at some point.
Okay.
Like I've always been like savvy, street savvy, and like, you know, trying to do my own thing. I've always been an independent child. Even my parents knew. So for me, like now when you want to like be a helicopter parent on the money, but you don't want me to go to the competition that gave me the money. What are you saying to me?
But then, was she not trying to be protective as a mother?
She was. My mom is always protective, just like generally. But like now I felt like, you want my bank statements? You want, no, I'm not doing that. We got into a huge fight about that. She even kicked me out. She kicked me out and then she called me back the same day.
I mean, she's a mother.
It was crazy. But eventually we got to an understanding and I was like, Mama, I need you to trust the values that you've instilled in me. I need you to trust your teachings about me. If you see by Leona is a metal and then allow the natural consequences to happen. Because I think I've proven myself just growing up.
Do you think these are the type of challenges that young people find themselves in when they start earning money early in life with their parents?
I've had a couple of interactions with people where umuntu umamake uyaziphethe yakhe ngephethe ufuna ngabo AMs. Like,
hello.
I've had a sleepover with a friend and the mom was calling in the AMs and she does this every time, every payday in the AMs. I'm Tanam, Unchani. I'm like, dude, why are parents like this? I just hope I'm not that parent. Like, I really hope I'm not that parent. My parents also, we had a time where my mom was like, okay, I want a certain amount of money from you every time you get paid. Black tax. Your typical black tax situation. And at the time, I think I had a voice, but I feel like I had stretched like already, because we already had that not misunderstanding, but like disagreement when it comes to how I'm gonna spend my money, her wanting access to my bank statements and whatnot. So I was like, hey, let me let things breathe a little bit. I'll give you the money. So I'll give her like 2,000 every gig that I gotten at the time. And at the time, like gigs were like coming in, and my fee was just like, people were not negotiating; they were giving me exactly the fee. So because gigs were coming in so frequently, so then at some point I was like, Mama, let's sit down, my love. I don't think this is working for me, especially when COVID hit. Because I was still covering my own school fees at that point. I was still covering my own living expenses. So I became independent by choice very early. So I had to make decisions that weren't necessarily favorable to a parent who'd like to still dabble in the money of the child.
So how did you maneuver that? I mean, to get to a point where there's at least some compromise and understanding between you and your mom around the money issue?
It needed a lot of patience, a lot of wisdom, like in terms of how to speak to your parents. Because obviously now it was like when there's a misunderstanding and you're not really like getting to the gist of things and no one wants to compromise, obviously you're going to get frustrated. So you need to be able to manage your own emotions, be emotionally intelligent. I'm working towards it. I'm not completely there, but like there needs to be a certain maturity emotionally and intelligence for you to be able to calm down when your mother or your father is coming up. And also choice of words. It's complex and it needs a lot of time and a lot of patience, and it's not going to take one time.
You've dropped some gems there, especially for young people, on how to handle that conversation about money with parents and all that. What would you say to mothers or fathers who might have a view in terms of how the money thing needs to work with the young ones who are starting to earn an income?
I think this thing also goes, like before that, I think it goes into the transition from being a teenager, young adult to a working class citizen, you know, someone who's working. You see that transition, like even when it comes to personal things, not just when it comes to money, like holistically, there needs to be conversations about that and what your expectations are, and be open about it, because there's a point where your child is not your child anymore like that. There needs to be some grace, I guess, from both sides, from my experience, because it is a huge transition. And I do recommend therapy. I recommend therapy a lot about such conversations, because it is a huge thing to process.
What do you think makes a black tax conversation very complicated for young people?
I think it's the guilt. Ishmara, parents can be manipulative. Yo, parents can be manipulative. Who was supposed to do it? That's like, who else was supposed to do it? You decided you want me, so
you are here.
But like also like the guilt trip, sometimes it gets to us. A lot of us, it gets to us. Yeah, I think that's what makes the conversation a little bit complicated and difficult.
You know, a lot of young people also struggle with making a decision around what should I buy first? Should I buy a car first?
Sure.
Or should I buy a property first?
My case was very different because I already had a car from the competition. I think I would have decided on a house because my mom had a lot of careers growing up. She was also a real estate agent. And so just like the importance of property investment has always been taught to me from a very young age. So I've known, like, I think that's one of the things that kind of like made me have a good head on my shoulders, knowing such things and just seeing how property was a conversation, because in some households property investment isn't necessarily a conversation, and I've seen it like even now in my adult life. Property investment is something that I find really important, and it's something that I'm dabbling into. I've already started, and it's really, really cool that I'm this young and I have my own property, renting out my own property. For me, I've seen what it's done for me right now. As I'm speaking, the place that I got, I'm renting it out. And me living here in Joburg, I don't have stress about rent because I already have that income. And I don't like working. I really don't like working and doing 9 to 5s and what. So such passive incomes like that, that is very important.
You had big plans after winning Idols. You wanted to study towards entertainment law.
You know my business very well.
You wanted to do a PhD in music. You wanted to start your own production company. How far did you go with that?
I feel like I'm being held. This is an accountability session, like of being held accountable. Did you do
what you said you're going to do?
Hey, life
happened.
Life. No, but also we evolve. There are some things that I thought I wanted at the time and I needed. I don't think I need anymore. Like a music PhD. I don't think I need it anymore. I don't understand the concept unless maybe you're planning on being in the classical side of things, or like going to America with your degree in music. I don't believe that if you are musically talented, you should study music. I genuinely, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think there are ways of studying it and learning it. I did music in high school. I don't feel I wasn't excited about it as a subject, but I really enjoyed the performance side because I didn't have to study for a lot of the stuff. Like music theory, I still don't get it. I have grade 4 in music, and a lot of people are like, whoa, you have grade 4 in music. And I'm like, I don't understand a thing. But like for me, what would substitute for me would be the musical performance side of things. With the music PhD situation, I was like, nah, it's okay. I don't have to do that. Entertainment law, that's definitely still something that I want to do. Timelines are not as normal as I would have liked them to be, or as regular. My timeline didn't necessarily go the way that other people's timeline go, and that's okay. And I've understood, and I've embraced ukuthi that's okay. But it's definitely something that I still want because I'm very passionate about it, and it's something that's always been in my heart from a very young age. I think that's where my excellence comes from. Just seeing like artists being exploited and not seeing excellence in the black community when it comes to music and performance. So for me, from there, that's where like my interest when it comes to entertainment law came in. Production company, I'm not sure. My YouTube channel is a production company. Right? I mean,
you have to start somewhere.
Although it got suspended, like at 80,000 subscribers, it got suspended.
Why?
I don't know why. I would love to know why.
Sure.
I don't know why, but that really hurts. So now I'm starting from scratch again.
If your financial future called you, what would it say to Yanga?
I sana and yes.
I'm
being honest, Betunana, it's okay to not know. I don't know because I don't know my future. I have aspirations. I have things that I'm working towards. I think my future would say you need to like just discipline yourself a little bit more. I think those are things like just consistently that I've felt all around in my life, not just financially. Like discipline has always been a thing that I needed to work on, because a lot of my decisions, and I grew up in a very protected environment. I didn't organically want to be disciplined. I was just disciplined because I was scared. So a lot of things I did out of fear instead of out of really wanting to.
Interesting. So who do you think has had the biggest influence in your life in terms of your general principles of life or values? My
pastor from Cape Town, he's Pastor Ndima from Agape Baptist Church. He wasn't a pastor at first. He came in like as a brother. I mean, he came to do his practicals at our church, and he was also very like musical as well. So for me, like the musical side of it, and just like how warm he was, has had a lot of impact in my life.
So what are your ultimate career goals?
I see myself as one of the best-selling platinum artists in the world. Okay, gospel artists in the world. I've had a vision from a very young age, like the age of 14. God gave me a vision, and he was like, your vision should be to bring people closer to me through your music, through your lifestyle, and through everything that you do, even your speech. I see myself doing that on a greater platform, draw people closer to their purpose and to the plans that God has for them.
Do you have other interest apart from music?
Definitely. I'm very business minded. That's something that I've like noticed about myself. I love photography. I love makeup. I did my own face today. Yes, if you want to book me, book me. Content creation, but I don't have the discipline for it. But I think I'm a creative all round.
Do your other interests influence your music?
Not really. Maybe photography, because I love nature, and sometimes it inspires me when it comes to writing music, which is something that I've dabbled in the last couple of years, and I think I've grown to be really, really good at. You guys will know that soon, because I am recording on the 1st of July, my gospel album at Shine Studios. Everybody do come, okay? Thank you.
And it's gonna be live, eh?
It's gonna be live.
Wow. So let's talk about, do you see music as a business? Okay.
So how do I see those things coming together? Like I have a lot of concepts, I have a lot of business ideas as well that have nothing to do with music. It doesn't necessarily influence each other. But I think when it comes to creativity, I think definitely it comes from the same place, but it doesn't necessarily influence each other.
So musically speaking, who are your biggest artistic influences?
My biggest artistic influences are your likes of Kaya Mthethwa, Ndogo Zombambo. Lately I've been listening to Todd Delaney a lot.
And as we go towards the end, I mean, what are your financial goals?
So I definitely do have financial goals. I want to see myself at a place where I don't have to worry about money. Sometimes, like, you see that time when it comes to month end, and then there are no gigs. And then the one thing that I do strive for is to never live life based on a gig.
Yes.
So I totally gig this month. Do I have a gig this month? Which is why like I'm just trying to work on having a stable passive income.
So what are your dream goals, your dream projects?
One of the things that I'd love to do is I want to tour schools and speak to matriculants and just come and have some speakers come in as well and speak about investment opportunities. There's not information that's really out there for high schools. Some of the greatest people in the world and the biggest influencers in our lives are entrepreneurs. Some of them didn't finish school. Sometimes some of them didn't go to university. So those are things that are, I think they are very, very important. But like investing into stock as well is something that can really change your life and can change, like it can shift your perspective as when it comes to like earning income and etc. Another thing that I would like to do is have festivals, youth festivals worldwide.
You come across as very solid, very focused, and you know what you want, you know where you're going, and you know what you believe in.
Yeah.
In your world, I haven't heard anything about dating. Where are you with that?
My dating life isn't public.
Yeah.
It's never been public, and I like keeping it that way.
You like managing it that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant.
The only man you guys will know is a man I'm married to.
Ah, wow, that's
no one will know another man here.
Yes, yes. No, that's beautiful. Hey, because that's all I can say.
We don't have to show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally from you, if you were to encourage or advise young people who have aspirations, whether in art, in whatever dream career that they want to pursue, what would your advice be to them?
Aspire to inspire before you expire. Living a purposeful life is not just about living a life that inspires you and that pleasures you. Living a purposeful life is about impacting the world out there, including yourself as you live out your dream. Your life is a gift and it has an expiration date. So do that and make sure that your purpose is fulfilled.
Yanga, thank you for joining us. It's been great chatting to you. I'm sure those who will be watching and listening this podcast will be so inspired before they expire.
Oh, be tonight. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. High five. Cheers.